Good morning, YouTube. It's Rochelle Tanner. It's June 19th, 2022. It's Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers. It's 1:07 in the morning. I'm here in Philly. That's AM on the East Coast. I didn't forget about this video. This is to one of my subscribers. This is for you. You'll remain nameless. But I was requested to do my reaction to Miss Latrese Alllen and Miss Chopping It Up with Roz. So this video is going to be kind of a long one, guys. I'm warning you now because they post a lot. And I took the week to watch a lot of their material. I'm still working on editing in different software programs to put in, as you guys call it, receipts, because I like to do my homework on anyone I react to. But this is going to be a long one, guys, so roll with me. I'll start off by saying Latrese Alllen, I remember her because years ago I used to watch this YouTuber that I don't anymore. He had did a review of one of her skits, quote unquote, and she's running around showing her coochie to everyone, and he was saying how disgusting gross she was. I also know her from Jerry Springer. She was on an episode where she slept with another woman's son or something. I don't fancy her content as funny. She's under the guise that she does skits, but I hear that mess a lot. Well, if they're skits, I don't find them funny. I was watching one of her skits, because you don't know if it's a skit or if it's her real life. I was watching one of her videos, and she's talking about how she got burned. Now, this woman, 38 years old, talking about how she got burned by a guy who was 30 and how he ain't no baby, this and that. Homegirl, by 38, if you still getting burned in the streets, you're all the disgusting people call you online. Absolutely. Those are lessons you learn in your late teens, your 20s. You feel what I'm saying? Not in your late 30s. That's disgusting. Then I saw another skit where I guess a guy was trying to buy crack with a fake $100 bill. I didn't find it funny. As an 80s kid myself, I remember the infancy of crack and whatnot, and I know the people it destroyed in my own life. So I didn't find that funny, but if it's a skit, oh, okay. I don't get it. Latrese Alllen and people her age like her, I don't look at those as skits. And Ratchet skits and all that, because for me, at 41, Lord willing, 42 this summer, Ratchet's reserved for the niggas in their 20s. A lot of things are reserved for the people in their 20s. I hate hearing people my age like really try to use Ratchet and Drip and Bro and all that, because y'all weren't raised in that time. See, for me, a Sukiyana is Ratchet. I get a tickle out of Sukiyana. And those young chicks that did the FNF rap song, I got a kick out of them. But they're, and I'm not saying youth excuses everything, but hey, we all were a little ratchet in our 20s, so I find the comedy in that. Now, Sukiyana, FNF girls, all them, that's for my entertainment. I would never show their content to a little kid because of what they deal with. But if you're pushing 40 and ratchet is your content, you need to get a fucking life. Now, Miss Latrese Alllen, when I'm watching her channel, and this is how vain and narcissistic this woman is, she was saying in the video where she got burned, she was on live stream. Why you a live stream that? I don't know. She was saying to her live, some people on her live, oh, my coochie's still better than yours, burning and everything. Homegirl, let's start here. If you're still getting burned at 38 years old, your coochie ain't better than nobody. And not only are you getting burned, you getting burned by younger niggas. And you getting burned by someone that you could have babysat. So in all, you getting finessed by a dirty dick nigga at 30 and you pushing 40. Your coochie ain't better than nobody's. And that shouldn't be the first concern on your mind anyway. Okay. This is for Chopping It Up with Roz and Latrese, because I'll address Chopping It Up later, but there's certain things, and women like them. Why is it okay for y'all to be bad mothers, but when black women with no kids say you're bad mothers, you have an issue with it, but you have no problem being a bad mother? You have kids. You have kids down there in Georgia. Little kids and older kids, Latrese. Your kids' teachers The community, their friends, can see you online talking about how you got burned and where you told this man to ejaculate on you and shit. What world am I fucking living in? What world am I living in? And chopping it up with Raj, you're no better, but I'll get to you in a minute. Now, I want y'all to keep in mind, this woman's 38 years old. She's old enough, like I'm old enough, want to talk skit comedy. We were fortunate enough to be little kids when Kim Wayans, you want to talk black skit comedy female. Kim Wayans to me is like almost. She's on that pedestal. That's that A1 entertainment. Kim Wayans. And young people, if you don't know who she is, go look her up. She's a part of the Wayans clan. Excellent writers dealing with black comedy and executing it where black people don't look ignorant or stupid. Kim Wayans never had to make a joke about her backside because she was too funny. See, when to me, as a black woman, in the history we have as Negro women in this country, you should be very careful with your sexuality. I'm not saying don't be sexy. I'm not saying that. But this shit ain't sexy. This shit ain't sexy. It's not funny. It's disgusting. And no, I wouldn't have watched Latrese Allen's work unless someone asked me to. And I saw her in Jerry Springer. I love Jerry Springer. He exploits everybody equally. Shout out to Jerry. I was taken back. And then on this said video, she goes to this guy's job trying to embarrass him. And I'm going to get you fired, da-da-da. Listen here, black woman. That Mexican man that burned you can still go back to his community and get a wife. Make no mistake. Because where did you see him? At work. And if your coochie was all that good, you'd be with your children's father. That's another thing. I'm getting sick of hearing that mess too, concerning you hoes and your coochie. Number one, you talk about your coochie too much. Because if your coochie was all that good, you could keep a man in the house. And for you ones to have children, if your coochie was that good, because for a lot of you, it ain't one baby daddy, it's several baby daddies. You could have at least kept one of them, and for some of you, you could at least keep them around to the end of your fucking pregnancy. And you're talking about how good your coochie is. Can't be that great. Can't be that great. It can't be. You're fucking niggas that you could have babysat. Talking about he ain't no baby. Yeah, and neither are you, and you shouldn't be getting burned at 38. And if you are going to get burned at 38 as a woman entering her 40s, us 80s kids, 70s kids, whether you want to hear it or not, we come from a time where there was something called discretion and privacy. I can almost understand younger people that really grew up in social media not knowing the essence of privacy and discretion, but you do. And an intimate issue like getting a venereal disease at 38, you may not want to post that for the world to see. And then, okay, I'm getting tired of hearing this shit too, because I want you guys to understand something. This reaction, I'm getting into the throw of YouTube, but as I expand, I got to do something more meaningful. I don't want to be in gossip, because there's a lot of people reacting to this foolishness, and that's what this is. A bunch of freaking foolishness. Now, getting back to Miss Allen and YouTubers like her, I am so sick of hearing you black women talk about you're the chosen one and God this and God that, and I'm blessed because I have this money, that money. It's only how you look at things, and this is for Miss Allen and Choppin. Miss Allen's good for calling people demons, all these demons online, this and that. Let me tell you something, honey. Online is a public platform. You make your living off of it. There's different people are from different walks of life, and people look at things differently. Just because people don't agree with the nonsense, disgusting shit you putting out here, don't make them demons. Because from my perspective, you and Roz you guys aren't demons. You're just flesh and blood like me, but you are sin laced. Actually, both of you carry all 7 deadly sins. You're lustful. You're proud. Wrathful. This is why for a couple years you guys can go back and forth because you have nothing better to do but to plot your next video on nonsense. You're gluttonous. You're vain. I had to write these down because I'm getting rusty, guys. You're envious. You have every 7 deadly sin, both of you. You're gluttonous and you're proud and you're disgusting. and you're lustful. And I am so sick of black women like you getting to use God as your fucking sick'em dog. He's not your sick'em dog. Everybody that you see around you, but both of you women, the good Lord woke up for a reason. And from where I sit, you're not blessed, you're not chosen. God didn't bless you with any goddamn money. Lucifer plays in money. You better check the back of your dollar bill. Have you ever considered, is Lucifer paying you for continuing to sell your souls? Not even just your souls. You're like a lot of women. You're selling your children's souls. Because with both these women, with both of your oldest sons, it seemed like one's deceased. My condolences, because no young person should be deceased that young. And the other one, you're going back and forth with your own son about him lying on you and DCF and all this other nonsense. It's nonsense. It's actually upsetting. It's revolting. And I'm 60 points dumber watching both you broad shit. Because let's get to you chopping it up, Raj. You one of them 1970s women. You were born in the early 70s, and you certainly should have more decorum about yourself. You come off as the type of woman that you don't have much going on. You look online all day to pick fights with people. That's lame, Holmes. I was watching some of your work and you're saying you were with someone for 30 years and all this other stuff. Where are you at? Where are you at? Where is he? I'm so sick. That's another thing I'm sick of with a lot of black women. But since we're talking about these, where are these men that kiss your feet? Where are they? Why aren't they in the videos with you? You put your kids in the video with you, chopping up. You even went as far as to put your deceased son's video online. And to me, that's just as despicable as talking about a venereal disease. As a person that has buried too many of her loved ones. Funeral time isn't supposed to be your time. It's the time to reflect and remember the person you're about to never see again in your life. You'll never hear their voice. You'll never feel their touch. You'll never laugh with them, cry with them, joke with them. They're gone forever. And the best you can do is post online video your son in a casket, in which he's too young to really be dead anyway. I don't know the circumstances, so I'm not going to pretend like I do. But I know he was young and he's not with us anymore. And to think, you women are mothers and soon to be grandmothers for both of you. Y'all are mothers. The woman who asked me to record this video, I won't dare mention her age because it's rude to ask a woman about her age, not you men who's in 2022 say I've heard that before. No, just women. But I will say this, she's a baby boomer. And she's around the age my mother would have been. And this is exactly why Rosalind and Latrese, you're the type of women, this is why young women don't respect you. The older baby boomers, I don't care if they smoke crack or not, don't respect you. Because a lot of the ones that smoked crack back in the day, shout out to the ones who got recovered and got their shit together. Hell, even if you a functioning addict, you don't got to answer to your kids. They still helped you in your adulthood. And I think it's getting to the point where they figure, what's the point? Because they know that their kids are already gone. They know where they messed up. They're getting older in life. But they've been trying to tell y'all need to get it together. I'll put money on it. Latrice's mother has told her behind closed doors. Because this internet shit's one thing. But when you're home with your family, and when you're home, you gotta look in that mirror, and you can't put a filter on a mirror. Can't put background music and stars and emojis on a mirror, and you gotta look at yourself. Or face your mother who's disappointed in you. Because my question is with these women, if the internet wasn't here, what would you be doing? Because both of you, I can tell, in my working history, I started working in 1996. I worked till this day. Yeah, I know it's not glamorous, but I believe in having a 9-to-5 when you're an adult. If the internet wasn't here, what would you people do for a living? Because the shit you're selling, the only reason you have a little bit of money is because people like to watch black women make fools of themselves. Y'all haven't gotten the joke yet? And people also like to consume a lot of garbage content. They like a lot of foolishness. That's the only reason people watch y'all shit, to see you go back and forth. If there was no internet, what would you women be doing? Now, with Chopping It Up with Roz, I could only listen to so much of her shit because you really too old for that shit, bitch. You were born in 1972. Grow up. Now, I went to your Facebook page, Chopping It Up with Roz, and it seems like your channel actually started off as a cooking channel, and I love cooking channels. See, I'd be more geared to watch if you was throwing down, hooking it up, but you're not. You're online starting up, picking fights with other people that have more followers than you, which lets me know you don't have a life. And I know, instead of picking fights, Miss Chopping It Up with Roz, is talking about your nails in your hair and playing in your hair and shit, you need to learn where to put a comma. Because on your Facebook page, and I took a picture of it, but guys, I'm still working on editing and things, but you can go check it out. On her Facebook page, it says, welcome to my Chanel, first of all. You spelled channel wrong. Chanel. Welcome to my Chanel. And she lists what she does on the channel with no commas. And that really bugs me. Because if you're old enough to remember pledging the flag in United States schools, which they need to bring back, you should know where to put a fucking comma when you're listing things. See, shit like that's important. I care not about your money if you don't know where to put a comma at 48 years old. And you online picking fights with other YouTubers trying to get your YouTube shit up. And it relayed to me by a little birdie, Raj, you're a bully and all this other stuff. I don't give a fuck about bullies. The reason I changed my username to Rochelle Tannen is because Biff Tannen, I always thought he got kind of a bad rap. Because had it not been for Biff, George's life wouldn't have turned out so fly. Because you got to stand up to bullies. And all bullies are going through something. Usually people who bully, it's because they're unhappy at home. And you look very unhappy at home. Both of you look unhappy. Latrese, you a comedian, you seem mad all the time. You calling people demons and whatnot when you're slothful as hell. You don't seem like you're happy-go-lucky, jovial to be a comedian. You always seem mad. And you're very crass. And this isn't anyone picking on this woman, being jealous of this woman, none of that. You guys got to understand something, especially you younger people, because when I do venture into my comments, a lot of you younger people don't seem to understand something. Us ones born in the 70s, 80s, and were kids or young adults in the 90s, or teenagers in the 90s, we did have a different standard of entertainment. Our entertainment was better. So when I listen to people my age talk about they do skits and shit, they got a high bar to fill for me. You know what I'm saying? And if you come from the world of MTV and grand productions, and especially if you were alive in the 70s, because they had awesome entertainment in the 70s, man, very grand. You take the word skit and you look at it differently. And yeah, I expect more from older content creators. And you're talking about skits. I don't want to hear about your coochie, your VD, people buying crack, all this stuff, because that shit ain't funny. That shit ain't funny. And no, let me reiterate, in this video, you two aren't blessed. You're just getting paid by the other side to keep on selling what you're selling. Because it seems to me, people that are genuine and the good Lord's looking out for on this YouTube platform or in life, they're genuine. They find a niche of what they're good at and they make that their niche. Or they talk about something that's meaningful, of substance, not a bunch of fucking old hens calling back and forth. Those are the ones the good Lord's looking out for. My girl that did the budgeting channel, the good Lord looking out for her. You want to talk about skits? There's a young lady named Chris Simone. Shout out to her. When she did the young girl did the Hit 'Em Up by Tupac. The backup singers for Hit 'Em Up. That was a funny skit. You want to talk funny. And it's the backup singers and their reaction as Tupac is talking shit about Sean Combs on that track. That's genius. That's funny. I watched that 3 or 4 times. That young lady gave me a cramp in my hip because it was so funny. That's skit comedy. Talking about VD and buying crack, that's not funny. That's just people liking a train wreck, Holmes. Blessed. If you're so blessed by God, listen here. You got Latrese Alllen got PayPal, Venmo, every access you could pay her. If you're also blessed, You should be able to get most of your money by one venue mostly now, because you've been on for a while, Miss Latrese Alllen. You've been on Facebook and all that shit a while, and you do all right, but for like 10, 12 years, to me, you only really do all right. Same thing with you, Roz. I don't know if your thing is money or what it is. It probably is, but y'all ain't doing nothing but selling y'all souls and your kids' souls. And I'll take it a step further. You're selling what soul left we have in the black community, because there's a lot. There's a Latrese Alllen and a Roz in every city. Every city in this country right now. And speaking of this country, with all that's going on and the things that can be parodied right now, like I would love to see a black woman on YouTube parody Kamala Harris. That'd be some funny shit. All the things that could be parodied and different things. Only thing y'all can come up is with your coochie and going back and forth with each other. And y'all both, let me say this again, you're both too old for the bullshit. Grow the fuck up. Grow the fuck up. Give your children some pride and some decency for a change. Yeah, you know, I saw one of Choppin' It Up with Rod's video talking about her reaction so they can raise boys like our grandfathers did, so they could be protectors and all this other nonsense. Bitch, we passed that because they have mothers like you. That's why we won't have little boys like our grandfathers and things, because they have mothers like you. Undisciplined, crass, loud, obnoxious, mean-spirited, lazy, all the deadly sins that I mentioned earlier, both of them. So after this video, I won't address this shit again. Only way I'll address this if I hear back from one of them two. But even then, I'm not the one to bicker back and forth, because I know what I'm saying is true. And both of them should be ashamed of themselves, like a lot of these black women should be ashamed of themselves with all that's going on in this country right now. The best you guys can do, and fancying yourself a comedian, Latrese, the best you can do is talk about your coochie. Right now is a grand time to be a comedian, if that's your thing, coming in on the stage. Oh, look who we have as a president. You can parody this shit all day. But see, I'm not a comedian. I'm a nigga on the internet that wants to get paid for talking my shit. That's what I want. I'm not a comedian, but I'll damn sure support comedians, and I've seen some great comedians in my lifetime. I love being an 80s kid because, you know, like I said, Kim Wayne's, and then you can go to, what's her name? Diana Ross's daughter, Tracy Ellis Ross. Then Maya Randolph, that's my girl. You got these hilarious fucking black women, and I know I'm forgetting a few, so don't hate on me, that help build sketch comedy, and you can't talk about nothing but your VD. You nasty whore. And if you call me a demon, I don't really give a shit. I'll have to consider the fucking source. I'll consider the source. A woman that's so disgusting, you won't put away your chopped meat belly while you're eating dinner with your children. Speaking of you all's children again, I hope you guys have been making money, because the people you're raising them to have no manners, no morals, to be greedy, to be sinful, lustful, and no one's going to be able to tolerate these people but you. You're not teaching your kids any skills, nothing that's viable, and you're not teaching these children how to compete against the people they're coming up with in this globalized world, so they call it, that we're living in. And it's disgusting. Here in 2022, I understand there's an attitude that everyone has to be CEO and multimillionaire. You know what? Those grandparents that Chopping It Up brought up, those grandfathers and things that she spoke of, they weren't millionaires. Well, some of them were, because they were very good with money and they saved the different things. But they weren't today's idea of a millionaire or billionaire. But they were decent men and women. And I'm so glad in my life I got to see those men and women before they passed on. And to some of the boomers, some of them, I'm glad I got to see them as young people. Because I would hate being a little kid growing up under you fools. You absolute fools. So I'm about to close this video. That's my thought on these two lames. Go spend your money, love it, enjoy it. Go buy your ATVs and your European crap, and take your trips and enjoy your land and do all that shit, because you motherfuckers ain't doing nothing but selling your souls, your children's souls, and the rest of your community's souls, because you should know better at your age. And that's for you, Elsie. I'm out.